All Elite Wrestling is on the road to the 7th Double or Nothing, which means it's time for a new fact video, y'all. Yeah, I know we just came off of Dynasty and I didn't do a fact video for last year's event. I'm gonna be honest, I was just lazy. Anyway, let's take a look back at the previous Double or Nothing. Jack Perry was set on fire, Chris Statlander turned heel, every match went over 10 minutes, MJF made a shocking return. This was overall a really great show. Here's 10 facts about AEW Double or Nothing 2024. Number 1. It featured the last defense of the Unified Trios Championship. Does anyone else remember the Unified Trios Championship? It was the AEW and Ring of Honor Trios titles combined. Yeah, it was only held by one group, the Bang Bang Gang. Having won the titles at Dynasty a month prior, the trio only defended the titles once on Dynamite and one time at Double or Nothing. Jay White was injured on a collision match in July, leading the group to being stripped of the belts on the following Dynamite. That match for Double or Nothing was the last defense of those unified belts, with the trio successfully defending the titles against Death Triangle. Speaking of Death Triangle, number 2, Death Triangle had their final match here. It seems surreal where all 3 members of the former Death Triangle trio lay today. Penta is on Raw, Rey Fenix is on SmackDown, and Pac is stuck with the Death Riders. With 2024 being the contract expiration years of the Lucha Brothers, they had one last match as a trio together with Pac at Double or Nothing 2024 in their loss against the Bang Bang Gang for the Unified Trios Championship. After their loss to the group, they all went their separate ways. Penta and Phoenix had a few tag team matches together, and Pac had his Wembley moment with another trio. RIP Death Triangle. Number 3, Eddie Kingston was supposed to compete in Anarchy in the Arena. Eddie Kingston is a crazy madman. I mean, look at his face. Who would ever want to mess with him? He defended the Ring of Honor World Championship in the first Continental Classic, won that, and held 3 belts in early 2024. During all of that, he decided to mess with the Elite. Bad idea. He lost the Continental Championship to Kazuchika Okada, who by the way is still holding the championship today, and he originally was supposed to team with Bryan Danielson and FTR in Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing 2024. However, he suffered a leg injury against Gabe Kidd in a strong openweight title defense at New Japan Resurgence weeks before, which caused them to be removed from the match, being eventually replaced by Darby Allin, the man that brought a whole flamethrower just to burn Jack Perry. And speaking of Jack Perry, number 4, Jack Perry prepared for the fire spot during the match off camera. Jack Perry, you crazy son of a... I don't know what prompted Jack to do stuff like this. From Jungle Boy, a man who wouldn't talk, teamed with a dinosaur, won tag titles with said dinosaur, buried his mentor in a casket, to be a crazy maniac who tries to retire the FTW championship, uses real glass in a match that resulted in the biggest domino effect in wrestling history, and also tried to light himself on fire. Yeah, Perry had previously attempted this stunt during his long suspension in late 2023, and at Double or Nothing 2024, Darby Allin took one of those flamethrowers and proceeded to burn Perry's lower body with it. But I bet you're wondering how Perry was completely safe from that stuff. Well, during the match, Perry had knocked himself out over the steering wheel of his bus outside while attempting to run over Darby Allin. During that time that the camera was away from Perry, Perry proceeded to cover his body in fireproof gel. There was so much of it shown on camera when he went back to the arena, but he performed the stunt successfully. Number 5, Mercedes Moné's first AEW match took place here 2 months after her debut. Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, made her long-awaited AEW debut on the March 13th, 2024 episode of Dynamite in her hometown of Boston. In the 2 months leading up to Double or Nothing, she kept teasing that she would go after the GBS Championship. She first thought she was fighting champion at the time Julia Hart, but then Willow won the title from her in Dynasty. That match was Mercedes' first match in over a year, having recovered from an injury caused by Willow the year before. So basically, Moné had spent her first full-time month in AEW without wrestling a single match, just waiting to get her revenge on Willow, taking the title from her in her first match, and she's been champion ever since. Poor Willow. But speaking of Willow, number 6, Willow Nightingale had the shortest TBS title reign to date. Willow Nightingale lives off 5 words. Nothing matters, just smile anyway. However, I don't think Willow would be smiling about this fact. In the 3 years of the TBS title history, it has only been held by 5 women. Mercedes Monet's current reign stands at the second longest reign to date. Her predecessor, Willow, has the unfortunate stat of having the shortest title reign. She won the belt from Julia Hart at Dynasty on April 21 and lost the title to Mercedes at Double or Nothing on May 26, ending her reign at just 35 days. She remains the only person to hold the TBS title for less than 100 days. That is not something to smile about, Willow. Number 7. Malachi Black had his only one-on-one match on an AEW pay-per-view. Can't believe he's back in WWE. The newly returned Aleister Black only had a few AEW pay-per-view matches. Most of them were the House of Black, and he only had 2 singles matches on an AEW pay-per-view in his 3-year run. At the first Forbidden Door in 2022, he unsuccessfully competed in the 4-way inaugural All-Atlantic title match that was won by Pac. And at Double or Nothing 2024, he unsuccessfully challenged Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship inside a barbed wire steel cage. That match was the only one-on-one match Black had on an AEW pay-per-view. He would wrestle occasionally for the rest of the year, having lost his last match at Full Gear on November 23rd, losing to Private Party in an AEW World Tag Team Championship 4-way match. Welcome back, Aleister. Number 8. The final 3 matches ran the same order as the previous event. When AEW runs a pay-per-view, they occasionally have an important match go on last. Usually it was for the AEW World Championship, sometimes a stipulated match. For a Double or Nothing 2024, the show was main evented by the usual Anarchy in the Arena themed match. Having ran after the AEW World title match, and before that, running after the TBS title match, that final order was the same order from the previous event. In 2023, Chris Statler won the TBS Championship from Jade Cargill. Then after that, MJF retained the AEW World Championship in a 4-way match. And then after that, the Blackpool Combat Club defeated the Elite in Anarchy in the Arena in the main event. That same sequence happened the following year, as the TBS title changed hands again, the AEW World title was retained, and the heel team had won Anarchy in the Arena in the main event. No wonder the show was headlined by a triple main event according to them. Number 9, the FTW title was defended in a 3-way match for the first time in AEW. Gosh, I hate Chris Jericho. I mean, he may be in his mid-50s, but nobody wants him to be beating the young talents anymore. Take Hook, for example. At Dynasty 2024, Jericho defeated Hook to win the FTW Championship. Over the weeks, Katsuyori Shibata would get involved, which scheduled a 3-way match for the title at Double or Nothing. This title had never been defended outside of a one-on-one match in over 25 years. It was always defended in a one-on-one match. With Jericho retaining at Double or Nothing, I guess it makes sense to never hold another one again. I'm happy they retired the title. Thank you, Taz. And number 10, it had the lowest attendance of any Double or Nothing held in Las Vegas. AEW had quite a weird 2024, alright. Sometimes the ratings would plummet. I mean, they had many low attendances. AEW had ran T-Mobile Arena in 2022 and 2023 for Double or Nothing. But the 2023 event had such low attendance as compared to 2022 and even 2019 that it prompted AEW to move Double or Nothing back to the smaller MGM Grand Garden Arena. The attendance was even lower. Inside the arena that could possibly open to 12,000 fans, the attendance for Double or Nothing 2024 was set at 9,009 fans. You can tell from watching the pay-per-view that some of the seats weren't even open. I know this for a fact because I sat in one of those seats 2 years earlier. In comparison, Double or Nothing 2019, held in that same arena, had housed over 11,000 fans, and the event at T-Mobile Arena held 14,459 in 2022 and 10,550 in 2023 respectively, making Double or Nothing 2024 the lowest attended Double or Nothing that was held in Las Vegas. Maybe that's another reason why they're holding it in Glendale, Arizona this year. Oh well, we'll see in 3 weeks.